Assalamu alaikum. Today's video is gonna be about music. So I've done my research. I wrote so many things down, and essentially this video is going to explain the effects music can have on your brain psychologically, studies that will back up the things I'm going to say and support it, as well as my advice to the Muslims who want to cut off music and why you should. Music, it has the power to stimulate our emotions as well as our memories. And saying so, it can also affect us internally, such as our blood pressure, our heart rate, and our hormones. That's how much of an impact music can have on us. For most people, music is absorbed from the right hemisphere of the brain. This is where the belt and the parabelt are. It is what puts the effort to figure out the rhythm of a song. You'll find that music is very common amongst young adolescents. Well, it's very interesting because you'll see that music affects their behavior. And this is because the music that we listen to activates our limbic side, and it's also known as the emotional side of our brain, and it can affect us negatively or positively. A lot of the music that people listen to today, it tends to be, let's say, rap. It tends to be metal or songs that glorify certain things. And essentially this goes to my next point. When a person feels upset, they will usually turn to music as a form of self-expression. And this can be, for example, if you are feeling sad, you will tend to listen to, let's say, Eminem has a few sad songs, and the beats and the rhythm of that song are sad. And so what the negative effects that this has on a person is that that person becomes dependent on the music that they listen to, because it allows them to indulge in the way that they feel and dwell upon the sad emotions and memories that they're feeling, therefore causing a dependency on it. So the result of this is that it becomes anxiety inducing and increases the chances of depression in that child. Of course, we can argue the other way around, that it can also have a good effect on people. However, at the end of the day, the point of dependency still stands, because that person will still be dependent on the music. Also, a lot of these sad songs, a lot of these rap songs as well, they tend to have subliminal messages or lyrics that goes to our subconscious and therefore manifests into our behavior and our emotions. For example, many songs that are common amongst adolescents tend to be rap songs, and a lot of them, they tend to glorify pimping, drug abuse, alcohol, things of this sort. And the more that it is consumed, the more it affects you psychologically. This is because your right hemisphere of the brain begins to process that song. So I guess my statistic for proving this would be that there was a study conducted, which I will link below so that you guys can also read more about it, where it enrolled, I think, 522 females, it says here. It recorded the exposure of rap music and the amount of hours they were exposed to it, and then the effect it had on them. So the results were this: that they were 3 times more likely to hit a teacher, 2.5 times more likely to be arrested, 2 times more likely to have multiple sexual partners, and 1.5 times more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. I'm not saying every rap song is like this, but I'm just giving an example, because the majority of the rap songs that are consumed today, they tend to glorify these things. And so it affects people's behavior. That's why we have a culture of pimping. That's why we have a culture of immodesty, of drug abuse. And if I'm not mistaken, in 2021 in the US, drug abuse had reached an all-time high. What I'm getting at over here is that our culture is growing increasingly more corrupt. And you will find that the media that these young adolescents consume, as well as the songs that they consume, they tend to glorify things that corrupt them. And it's really, really scary actually when you think about how much music can control you. We don't realize it, but music does control us. It controls our moods. How scary is it that we allow music to control our moods? Music culture, they will have a fan base. They will idolize this singer. So music isn't just about the lyrics as well. It's the people behind the music who make it. It can also be a way of mind control. I think it was Kanye West as well who talked about how the music industry can mind control people. It's very, very scary when you dive in deep about it. This video is essentially like the surface level of music and the effects it has on us. If you guys would like a more in-depth video, which would take a much longer time, you do let me know. Anyway, my advice for all the Muslims who want to decrease their music time, we need to establish the first thing, which that music is haram. Not only is it a big fitna, but also because it takes over your mind and your heart. A lot of people tend to have song lyrics memorized and the Quran not. We are told that Quran is a cure for the heart. For all my girlies out there who maladaptive daydream, I do as well. I struggle with this a lot, and it can be very hard for us to give up something that we become dependent on, because essentially that's how you create your scenarios, and you'll find that it prevents you from doing more things. I used to stay in my room and daydream like that for hours. I got nothing done and I was so comfortable in my little delusional world until I saw it negatively impacted me. This is why another reason why music dependency can be so scary, because it actually literally controls you from your mind to your behavior. At one point, when I realized, I feel tired of this, I don't really like what I'm doing, I just have this craving to do it, this attachment to what I do, but I don't actually like the way that it makes me feel. When I got nothing done, that's, I guess you could say, the second step to stopping your intake of music. It's when you really realize that if you really want your best interest, you'll have to cut back. And so that goes to my step 3, which would be not completely take away the music. That's like telling a person who abuses alcohol, stop drinking alcohol and you take all his beverages away. You have to do it slowly, because your dependency on it will still be there until you allow your body to get accustomed to lower intake. If I knew that I was listening to this many songs, I would cut back on a few songs. Anyway, I guess that's essentially my whole video on it. I have so many video requests. I'm trying to get through them slowly and slowly. I didn't want to speak on a topic that I didn't know enough about, hence why this video, I had it in mind, but I needed some time to gather enough information to be able to make a somewhat decent video on it. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and yeah, assalamu alaikum.